America, planet Earth, what's good? This is your boy Codell, and welcome back to another episode of the Father's Gospel Podcast. If you have not done so, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell. Hey, today I've got a good one, you guys. So I've got a video I'm going to review off of TikTok. This is Dad right here. I'm not sure if this is his channel. I haven't figured that out yet, but regardless, this gentleman, he definitely hits home on some stuff, and I think a lot of you guys out there are going to be able to relate. I'll obviously, do my little comment thing, all that good stuff. And then also, I got this great article to share. They did a parenting poll in a whole bunch of states, including here in Washington, and it overwhelmingly shows that the vast majority of the voting population supports equal shared parenting, which is fantastic. And then, is there anything else I wanted to share with you guys? Oh, yeah. And then I got this Time article. Men are now more likely to be single than women, and it's not a good sign. So I'm going to read through that. I don't know if I'll go through the whole thing. I read through it before, and it's good. I'm going to point out some obvious things that they leave out. But anyways, let's get into it, guys. So, man, this guy cuts deep. Let's take a listen to what he's saying.
Have you ever gotten to a place where you just don't feel anymore? You you care, but you don't care. Have you ever gotten to a place where you want a relationship, but you don't want all the drama that comes with it? You don't want all the work that comes to get to a place where you're actually in a relationship? Have you ever gotten to a place where you just want to be fucking left alone? I'm literally driving home right now from dropping my daughter off, and I have no idea what I'm going to do this weekend. And I don't hit anyone up anymore because I don't like reaching.
It's crazy because I definitely, I definitely can relate to that. I mean, I won't say that I don't have friends because I do got some really good friends. I've made some really good friends this last 2 years, especially recently. But my circle is very small, and until recently, I've pretty much just been not a hermit because I go out, I go to work, I also go out and do things, exercise, hike, all that stuff. But I'm not out there socializing unless it's for an event or something like that. I go to work, do my 9 to 5, and then I come home and I focus on my stuff, my projects. And that's how it's been for a long time. And especially when, because this guy, he said he just dropped off his kids. And yeah, dude, like your kids are everything to you. When you don't have them, they're in your freaking brain. You're thinking about them nonstop. And it's just, man, when a dad says that, it hits home with me. It really resonates because I've been in a 6 year custody, an unnecessary 6 year custody battle for my son. And just the damage that it's caused is not okay, and I have just as much myself to blame for it. Not so much because of my actions, but because I should have chose my situation better. And I'm not saying I'm perfect because I'm not. Like I've got, I'm plenty screwed up like the rest of us. But you got to be really careful when you're a dad. Um Whether it's divorce court or the family courts or both, and if you're going through a divorce, you're most likely going through the family courts as well. Cuz they're not on your side, you know. Um But anyways, let's keep it moving.
Rejection. If they can't do something because they're already busy, I just kind of make my own plans for myself. So I hang out by myself, away from people. And then on top of that, it's cheaper. Gotten to a place where
Yeah, I've
I
definitely told
don't
myself that it's
I
cheaper.
don't care. But deep down I care. Like I go to bed. Fuck I care. In my dreams, hell yeah. My dreams, man, plug me into the damn.
You know, he's talking about how he doesn't care, but deep down he does care. And again, that really resonates with me. Um, again, just like what I was talking about a minute ago, everything that I've gone through with my son is the most painful experience of my life, but it's also molded me into being a better man, you know? And I wasn't some terrible man before, but I definitely wasn't um again, I wasn't perfect. And having my son just adds this extra level of love and motivation, and it keeps you going. Like it it's crazy. And because of how much I love my son, I I don't really care about anything else. Like everything I do is for my son. And that's just that's how it is. And it's exhausting. And it's not because of my son. It's not my son that makes it exhausting. It's just these family courts and the way they're structured and incentivized to keep the dads out of the home. It spills over into the population, you know? Like my son's half black, half white, and I had him in 2018. And my politics, my race, my sex, it's all been it's all been used against me. My stance on COVID, and I'm telling you what, it's absolutely kicked my ass. Like it's kicked my ass. And I'm used to having to fight. And I don't mean physically, but like I grew up without my dad. It was just me, my mom, my three sisters. God bless them all, love them all. The household was it was, it was chaotic. And it wasn't easy. I love my family, but it wasn't easy. Um, and as a little boy, I wanted nothing more because like I loved my dad. I missed him so much. And like the only memories I have of my dad are of when I was about 3 years old. And they're very vague, and all of them are negative. Now, I did reach out to him a few years back, and we spoke for a brief moment. Um, but I'm trying to remember if it was like a text or actual phone call. I think it was through text. But there's a lot of history with my dad, and I didn't want like how I grew up without my dad. I don't want this for my son. And it's happening to my son right now for the first years of his life, not because I'm not trying to be there, but because the family courts are making it almost impossible for me to be there. And it breaks my heart because my son, he, he's 6 now. And I know he's wondering where his dad's at. Last time I saw him was about 2.5 years ago, and it wasn't because I'm not trying. I moved. My son's mom disappeared with him and moved 500 miles, and it took me about a year and a half to figure out where he was. And then when I found out where he was, spent about a year saving up and preparing to move. And then when I moved up here to Spokane, I was seeing my son every other week. And before I moved up here, when I did find my son, I was talking to him every week on Skype, and I was driving up here once a month to see him. And this is while paying for supervised visits, a hotel, my mom helping me out, and her husband, you know. And so I've been on it. Like I've been doing everything I can. And so I get up here, and about a month of me living up here, seeing my son on an every other week basis, working on toward get getting it towards being 50-50. The courts allow his mom to move with him once again across state, Keene County. And the courts have nothing on record of me ever getting in trouble with the law, of me violating this illegal no contact order. And the thing is about the no contact order, like I don't even care about it. If she wants to keep this in place forever, I don't care. I'm just focused on seeing my son. And, so she was able to move again. They put all these new restrictions on me, even though I've never been found guilty of beating my son or hurting my son in any way. I mean, I've got supervised visitation notes from the supervisors talking about how good I am with my son, like how engaged I am with my son, you know? And it hurts. Yet So the courts know this. I've had 2 claims of child abuse put against me. I've been cleared twice, both times. No founding of anything because I didn't do anything. The courts know this. This no contact order that's in place was never served to me. And I ended up I ended up violating this no contact order. This is years ago now. This is back in 2018. 29 end of 2018, started 2019. So I broke up. Me and my son's mom, we broke up. I moved out. And after I moved out, because she was a couple months from, having her son. And so I moved out. We stayed in contact. We were texting back and forth. I still have all these Facebook messages and all these text messages and emails and whatever. And we're texting back and forth about, how excited we are for our son. She's texting me on a weekly basis, like what size her son is, melon, not a watermelon, but you know what I mean? Like these different fruits and vegetables showing, okay, our son is this size right now around this time, So she's sending me stuff like that. Just a lot of cool, really nice, good stuff. And so, anyways, I'm there for the birth of our son. He's born. I'm there with him 3 days in the hospital. It was crazy. My son, uh, he, what's it called? When when they cut the stomach open, a C-section. So his mom had a C-section, and I remember looking and seeing her stomach open and seeing my son. I couldn't look that long. Like it was pretty crazy. It didn't make me like want to puke or anything like that, but it was intense, I'm like, and so I'm there in the hospital, and they take him out, cut the stomach open, they take him out. They start sewing her back up, and they put my son on the table. I'm there with him, and he's not breathing, and this is like freaking me out. I mean, like any parent. And so they got this little, I don't know what it's called, but it pumps air into him. And so they put the little mask on his face, they're pumping air into him, and he starts breathing. Thank God. Thank you, God. And he just like, he looks up at me and he's holding my pinky, man. And we just lock eyes. And I've never loved anyone as much as I love my son, still to this day. And it just rocked my freaking world, you know? And so, he starts breathing, we're locking eyes. I'm just like, dude, I love this kid so freaking much. Like, I can't even describe it. And so we're there in the hospital 3 days. I'm thinking in my head, I'm thinking, like, everything's good. It sucks that we weren't able to make it work, but I'm here with my kid. Her and I are, able to peacefully coexist, for the for the you know for the betterment of our son. And so he gets jaundice, all that stuff. He gets better. Day 3 comes. I leave. We're texting back and forth over the next couple days, and we're communicating or texting back and forth over the next like couple weeks. And so we set up a time because unfortunately at this moment I was living a little far. And so like I was actually trying to get back. I was trying to find a place in the town in the Portland area, back in the Portland area because I wasn't even living there after we had split. But anyways, we're texting back and forth. We're talking about, like, okay, we're getting a time set up for me to come out and visit. And so that date and time gets set up again. I still got all these messages. Like I got the Facebook messages, I got the text messages, emails, all that stuff. And we agree to a time, date and time. And things start getting a little weird. But as far as I knew at the time, everything was good. So I'm heading out there, me and my mom, and I'm just like super excited to see my son. And crazy. So we show up, and my son's mom had the police waiting for me. I ended up getting arrested for violating a no contact order that was never served to me. I have I have a signed letter from the sheriff of Douglas County, who the police in Washington County, the sheriff's office in Washington County, they said I was told by them that they gave the no contact order to Douglas County to serve me. I was never served the no contact order. I got a hold of Douglas County and they confirmed that they were never contacted about serving me any no contact order, and they were never given a no contact order to serve me. And again, I have an email from Douglas County Sheriff's Office confirming this. The courts know about this. They knew about this. They ignored it. And so I show up, I get arrested. It's like a couple weeks after my son's born. And it was crazy. I spent like half the day in jail. Just, just fucking crushed, dude. Excuse my language, but just crushed. Like devastated. I don't know what's going on with my son. I got set up. And so I go to court. They offer me a plea bargain. I didn't take the plea bargain. I decided to take it to trial. So I take it to trial. This is in Woke, Washington County, which is a county in Portland. It's a suburb of Portland, Oregon. And so I go to trial and they give me they give me almost all women. on as the jury. And these are, I'm not saying all Portland women are bad, but these are Portland women. These are woke Washington County, woke Portland women, woke Beaverton women. You know, these are the type of people, a lot of them, these are the type of people that would call Trump supporters Nazis. Anyway, so I get found guilty and I, like I wasn't shocked. Um, I kind of was expecting to get screwed, even though everything was on my side. I mean, even because like this no contact order, it started because after about a month after I moved out, a little more, I don't know, maybe it was 2 months. Anyways, it was a month or 2 months after I moved out. She decided to call the police. My son's mom did. And she claimed that I choked her. And this was after I'd already been gone a month. Her her own daughter in the police report, because my son's mom says that her daughter witnessed me choke her. Her own daughter in the police report says that she never witnessed me choke her mom. I have a copy of the police report. But the cops, so she reports a so-called choking after I've been gone a month or two. Cops have no physical evidence. Her own daughter doesn't corroborate her story. Yet they grant her a no contact order with no evidence. And a no contact, and not only do they grant it to her, but again, I was never served this no contact order. And that's that story right there. Her time about me choking her, that's what led to this no contact order. So I get painted as this, you know, she paints me in the court. She ends up painting me in the court as this white supremacist Trump supporter that hates Black Lives Matter, that hates Antifa. And I really do dislike Antifa, and I do dislike the majority of BLM. But am I racist? No. It's the stupidest thing. And I mean my son's half black, you know? And I it freaking killed me because in court they're calling me a white supremacist. I'm being told I shouldn't be in my son's life because of the color of my skin, because of my political views. At the same time, they're telling my son that even though I don't consider him black or white, in America, he'll always be black. And his mom's attorney says in court, and I have the audio transcripts of this, like I have all this stuff. And I'm going to be putting it together, creating a documentary. But, anyways, my son's mom attorney says in court about my son, even though his father doesn't consider him black, in America, he'll always be black. And because of that, he'll need help from the government. And it pisses me off because it's it's really disrespectful to my son. I mean, planting seeds of poison in his head. So that's being used against me. It's being used against him. And then it's crazy because, all this is happening during COVID. I mean, my timing in life, like I said, I've lived a crazy life. And man, like being a white male Trump supporter, having a half black kid, and I don't even consider him half black, half white. You know what my son is to me? He's a fucking American. Excuse my language. He is a God blessed American. That's what my son is to me. Like, I don't like thinking of myself as white. I don't want my son, when he's thinking about who he is, thinking of himself as I'm black, I'm white, I'm mixed. I want my son to think of himself as an individual and just an American, you know? Like, I want him to be proud of all his heritage, his mom's side and my side. You know, there's good and bad people in all families. And my son has a lot to be proud of on both sides of the family, both sides of the families. Um, but he it's just crazy. So that's being used against me, my politics, my skin color, my son, his mixed race is being used against him. Um, keep us away from each other. And then, COVID kicks into high gear and it just gets crazier. Like I'm told I get new restrictions put on me by the courts. His mom requests that I'm not allowed to be around my son unless I take the COVID vaccine, wear a mask, take the PCR test. I was against COVID from the start. I'm not talking shit, but I knew it was I knew it was a psyop from the start. I knew it was bull. I knew it was one big lie. And, you know, that's pretty obvious now. It was back then to me, but anyways. So she requests all this stuff in the parenting plan. And the courts give her the okay on it. So all of a sudden, I can't be around my son unless I'm wearing a mask. She says maybe I don't have to wear a mask if I take the COVID vaccine. I'm not taking the COVID vaccine. Still haven't taken it to this day. And kick rocks. You know, wants me to take the PCR test. So, I had to do the mask crap, and it freaking it frustrated me so much when I would go see my son and we'd have our supervised visits and he would show up with a mask on his face. Little 3-year-old boy. There's no reason for him to have a mask on his face. So I took it off. I kept my mask on, but I took my son's mask off. I told him he didn't need it, you know? And I hope and pray that my son has like so one of the things I'm most thankful to God for. I'm going just off a little bit of track, but not just for a second. So one of the greatest gifts God gave me was being curious. Like I've always questioned everything, you know, and I wasn't the best student, you know. I got into a lot of trouble in school and I did a lot of, I did my fair share of stupid stuff. But I've always had a thirst to know the unknowable, the unexplainable, the hidden, you know, like what's really out there. And so I hope and pray that my son Max, I hope that's a trait of his. I hope he has that natural curiosity and I hope he's always questioning what he's told, especially when it comes to authority and the mainstream, you know. And it doesn't mean you go out there and cause trouble, but always I I really hope he has that natural curiosity to know really what's going on behind the scenes. If he does, thank you, God. But so anyway, so the COVID stuff, it's been used against me, all this stuff, the politics, everything. She ends up moving again. They give her the okay to move. So I went from being when I was in Oregon, I was 12 hours away from my son. I move up here. I'm like minutes away from him, seeing him all the time. And then within a month, he's gone again. It's like 400 miles away, 500 miles away. And the timing of it was devastating because, again, I just moved up here. I'd been up here a month. I had rented a place, but it wasn't a signed lease, so it was a temporary place and that turned into just real quickly just turned sour, you know. Guy was trying to get a lot of money, way more than I was going to give him. And so I was getting hit every direction. And so now for the last 2.5 years, I've been trying to unravel this whole mess that my son and I have been put through, you know? And I'm going to get there. I got no choice. Like, I'm going to get there. And I'm going to keep putting out these videos. And I'm going to keep documenting my journey. And I'm going to keep figuring out and moving towards and getting done reform in the family courts. You know, we got a lot of work to do as a country. But anyways, you guys, I know I ended up going just bam, just gone. Like I started doing a video review and then I went off into like what 45-minute tangent, something like that. I don't know. But I'm gonna call it there before I get out of here. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. We will be on Podbeam soon and or Moonbeam. I don't know. And then we'll be on Spotify. We're working on all that. We're making it happen. We're on Rumble. We're on YouTube. We're on X. We're on True Social. We're on Facebook. So we're out there moving. And check out our merch, Father's Gospel merch. It's super dope. We got 3 designs up now. I designed them all. We got the MAFGA shirts, Make American Families Great Again. We got the Welcome to the Cause shirts. Dope picture, dude. Dope picture, dope saying. And then we got the Dad Squad shirts. It's got the Father's Gospel 4 pillars on the back. And it's a dope. I mean, that's what I'm wearing right now is the Dad Squad shirt. But anyways, yeah, we got the shirts, the mugs, all that good stuff. So all right, guys. God bless. Y'all stay safe. And if you're dealing with the family courts like I'm dealing with them, reach out to me. Let's work together. Let's bring change for the better. Let's change the system, baby. All right. Later, guys. Peace.
Search every star, the light never dims. Together, my son, the devil chagrins. We can't be stopped, now it's coming to a end. For the sake of our family, love for the win. Son, I love you, my dice that I promise. Father's gospel, guidance and knowledge.